Up next, the Bulls taking on the Nets. For the Chicago Bulls, they're well aware that starting the season on the road can make for a choppy start. They plan to rise to the challenge and steal a first win here. Nets, Bulls, up next. Greetings, everyone. Welcome to 2K Sports and another exciting edition of NBA basketball. I'm Kevin Harlan with Greg Anthony, Hall of Famer Doris Burke, and another Hall of Famer, David Aldridge, from the sidelines. DA, it's all yours.
Well, James Harden is both famous and infamous with his skill at getting to the foul line. Some don't like it, but Harden says free throws are a part of basketball. Either you're going to foul me or I'm going to score. Putting the pressure on the defense like that is tough. That's what makes a good player. Kevin, no lies told there.
Well, no doubt, David, he is one of the best. Thank you. Now we have a moment to look at how the blocks have been stacking up over the past several months for Aldridge.
We're just not seeing that same fierceness out of him defensively these last few months. He's lost a little bit of that intimidation factor. He's not blocking as many shots, and he's not making the same impact on that end of the floor.
Let's check out Chicago's starting lineup. They've got Curry, DeRozan out there with Kawhi Leonard. Then it's Harden, and it's Valanciunas in at the center position. And for the Nets, Norman Powell is out there with Lowry. Then there's Warren. Then it's Robert Covington, and it's Adebayo in at the center, locking down the middle.
You have to remember, the Nets surrendered their draft pick every year for 5 straight years between the years 2014 to 2018. How they turned that into a playoff run last year, one of the great stories in the league.
And it's Lowry penetrating. Count that one.
If you allow Kyle Lowry a head of steam, it is very difficult to stay in front of him. No stopping him on that drive.
Curry passes to Harden. And Curry has it in the corner. No good with the triple. And Doris, you're right. Those picks you're referring to surrendered by the Nets in their 2013 trade with the Celtics.
And think about it, Kev. That transaction was one in a string of trades by the Nets, trading their picks for veterans. This 2019 draft, only the second time the Nets controlled their pick in the last 9 years. What they have achieved in the face of that is nothing short of remarkable.
And Brooklyn has possession after Chicago picking up the basket just moments ago.
Well, no fear in Kyle Lowry's game. This guy is happy to take it inside and seek you out.
Here's Curry. There's the pass to Harden. Shoots over Powell. Harden, that's good.
And not much breathing room there. The step back move gave him just enough to get it off.
Harden against Powell. Passes it to Lowry. Makes it off the glass. Lowry's got 6.
Well, that's just mastery of the lead guard position. Kyle Lowry running the pick and roll to perfection.
And it's Leonard at the elbow. Harden outside. That's tipped. Second shot opportunity. And Valanciunas puts it in. And Brooklyn has possession. They came away with the victory in their last meeting, which, by the way, was also in this building.
And their last matchup was a nail-biter, but they hung on, and in part it was because of their rebound.
We call that floor vision, gentlemen. Kyle Lowry with the pretty pass.
Back to Valanciunas. Dishes to Harden. Another miss by Harden.
And close to making the defense pay for the lax coverage that time.
Covington kicks to Lowry. Pass to Adebayo. Over Curry. The shot misses. And it's Chicago the other way. To the paint. Here's Leonard. Good. And it's DeRozan picking up the assist. Leonard's got his second bucket of the night.
This is a small forward who, because he's 230 pounds, can hold his own down the low post. That is nicely done.
Powell against Harden. Leonard with the steal. And Harden with the stuff.
Boy, that open look set up by Kawhi Leonard, that's probably the most underrated aspect of his game.
To the inside. How's that for an answer? Right back with the dunk.
And guys, he's not an easy man to stop when he's got the rim in his sights.
Never has been, never will be. He is a determined finisher. Now, here's Valanciunas. He had a 27-point outing in their last game against Orlando.
You know what else impressed me? How infectious his tenacity was. Simply a wrecking ball on the boards, collected huge amounts of rebounds. This guy is putting his fingerprints all over the game in this quarter. He has flat out dominated the offensive end.
Warren dishes to Lowry. Pass to Adebayo. That one good for two.
Well, Kyle Lowry has become the master of manipulating the pick and roll. Really pretty look there.
Curry against Lowry. Curry, good.
And you can see the defense broke down there, allowing him to get all the way to the hoop.
Nets trail by 3. Over to the left wing. Adebayo passes to Lowry. With some arc, and the rejection by Valanciunas. And it's going to be out of bounds. The Nets will retain possession. Here's Adebayo. Nice ball movement by Brooklyn. Clock at 6. Covington. That falls. Nice feed that time from Kyle Lowry. Lowry's got 4 assists in the game. Last game for Brooklyn, it was a loss to the Warriors in San Francisco.
I think quickness has probably never been more important in the NBA, but you cannot overlook the value of strength. Think about a guy like Kyle Lowry. He's not the biggest, he's not the most explosive, but he's got strength and he's got that bulldog mentality.
You know, didn't need 2 hands for that slam. One will do just fine.
You're right. He can save the other hand for the next time. Valanciunas inside. He's guarded by Adebayo. And he gets the basket. Officials blowing the whistle, so a chance at the line for one more. And Kyle Lowry, Doris, never shy about contact.
You're right, Kevin. Never shy on either end, offensively or defensively. Kyle Lowry will get into you. He is the tone setter with his physicality and his effort level.
The free throw drops for Valanciunas. And this is what we've been waiting for all summer long, all off-season long. After many months, Doris, basketball is finally back.
And what's incredible, Kevin, is the NBA's popularity just continues to grow. There's worldwide enthusiasm. The NBA players represent the league so well, and my goodness gracious, can they play some basketball?
Interesting how now the league, Doris, is commanding the calendar all year round. It used to be such a seasonal game. Now it's 365 days a year.
So many storylines throughout the course of the summer. Who's playing where and with whom?
And these are his second and third free throws tonight.
And taking a look back at his performance at the line a year ago, rock solid 79%.
No good on that one.
Well, Kevin, the 5th overall pick back in 2011, Valanciunas has worked so hard to improve his entire game. I'll tell you, it's paid off, Kevin. He can impact a game in a lot of different ways.
And he sinks the second. And here's Lowry to bring it up for the Nets. They trail by 1. And the pass to Adebayo. To the middle. Covington kicks to Adebayo. Stolen by Harden. Passes to Curry. And here's DeRozan. While recovering. DeRozan dishes to Valanciunas. It's Adebayo with the rebound.
Well, we love his ability to attack the rim. He just loses a little bit of focus and misses the chippy. Well, not exactly one of those big, burly power forwards, right? He depends on his leaping ability more than those guys, and it serves him just fine, Kev.
Curry attacking. Inside. Here's Valanciunas. It's not going to fall. He's taking 4 shots and made 2. Leonard against Powell. And that one clearly a foul. Gets the whistle and 2 shots coming up. And Coach Jim Boylan agreeing to a multi-year extension with the Bulls this summer, Greg.
And taking that interim tag off his title as head coach, Boylan, with over 30 years of coaching experience, afforded the opportunity to continue developing this young core.
First free throw is good.
And you look at the cast-offs that have found success in Brooklyn, Doris, a great part of the Nets story.
And I think what the players appreciate is the team that gave them their first real shot to play significant minutes. That buy-in and urge to prove themselves a part of what makes their culture special.
So he gets them both.
Well, one thing there's no question about is that Norman Powell is a gifted athlete. Now it's about rounding out that game, particularly his shooting.
Now here's Harden. He's coming off a 37-point game against the Magic in Orlando.
I love that he sacrificed his body over and over. His persistence at getting to the free throw line really paid off for them.
And Greg, when you're discussing and comparing James Harden and what he's done these last few years, you have to do it on a very historic level.
He's going to go down as one of the best to ever play the game. His production is incredible, and the skill level really is groundbreaking. Easily the best off guard in the league.
Drops for Harden.
You know, it tells you something about Harden that he's led the league in free throw attempts so many times. This man is always in attack mode.
And both free throws good for James Harden.
And at the line, it's all about consistency with him. His routine, his stroke, it never wavers.
Schroeder finds Robinson. It's Powell on the wing. 6 on the shot clock. It's hauled in by the Bulls.
Oh, you've got to be able to deliver when you get a bunny like that. That's just too easy of a shot to miss.
And Drummond throws it down.
And when he gets himself into the right position, Drummond so powerful in terms of finishing at the rim. The only way to prevent that alley-oop is to keep him from getting to the launching pad in the first place.
Now here's Lowry. He's got 6. Pass to Wood. Here's the 3. The shot's good on the assist by Lowry. Lowry's got his 5th assist in this one.
taking back the lead once more. Give these teams credit. Man, they are battling.
Boy, Greg, neither team willing to give an inch and neither able to seize the momentum. This has been a fascinating one to watch.
Here is Harden. 9 points in the game so far. The shot's good from Paul.
And they keep hammering away at him inside, forcing the ball into the paint.
Schroeder against Harden. Outside Lowry. Down low, Wood. And he takes the fantastic lead pass out strong for the slam.
And he gives that rim a good tug on the way down.
That's how you drive your point home right there. Timeout. And the first timeout of the game called for Chicago.
And over the last few seasons, Kyle Lowry's scoring trending downwards. His assists increasing, though, dramatically, relying more on his teammates to get the job done.
And a quick check of the stats for Drummond. Last season, he played outstanding. First in rebounding, 8th in steals, and he finished among the top 10 in blocks, bringing that intimidation factor to the paint.
And getting back to the fact that he led the league in rebounding, you know how hard that is? What a tremendous asset to the team.
And right from the start, Kevin, they've been pounding the glass. Most of those 50-50 balls also going their way.
Outside Robinson. Back to Lowry. Uses the glass to finish the layup. Now it's a 4-point Brooklyn lead.
Boy, Kevin, I thought he might get a call there. I thought it was pretty clear contact. But we know Lowry's not looking for the whistle. This guy's just looking to put points on the board.
Count that bucket.
Well, individually, he is doing everything he can in this 12-minute session, but he's just not getting enough help.
And stolen by Drummond. Levine looking around. It's stolen by Schroeder. Shoots from 14 and no good. And the Bulls going the other way now. Paul outside. Pass to Aldridge. Good, and Paul gets the assist. Aldridge has got the game tied up here for Chicago.
And you got to love how Paul sees the whole court so well. Maybe the best quality for a point guard to have.
Here's Wood. And the three off target. And here's Levine, who brings it up for the Chicago Bulls. To the middle, here's Harden. And he takes it in for the layup off a very nice feed. Harden's got 13.
Just no resistance inside at all. They are feasting. This is a straight buffet.
It is. It's a big one. And load the plate. On defense, the Bulls. Robinson passes to Powell. The pass to Schroeder. 6 to shoot. Wants to get it to Robinson and does.
We are talking about a very solid passer at his position. Schroeder identifying an open teammate.
Paul dishes to Aldridge. Lobbed up there for Drummond. Up high to stuff the alley-oop.
And how sweet a play was that?
As sweet as it gets, an exquisite pass to set up the powerful alley-oop dunk. Here's Wood. He has 5. And Lowry gets double-teamed. Powell, no one around him. A three-pointer is right on target. He has 5.
Absolutely critical that Norman Powell expand his range. The more he makes that three, the more the floor opens up.
3-second difference between shot clock and game clock. Passes it to Drummond. Baseline try. Here's Aldridge. Robinson with the block. Now Powell. Here's Lowry. Bucket is good. And now it's a 3-point Nets lead.
And offensively right now, each team getting what it wants.
Yeah, this is already a high-scoring game, but we knew that was a possibility coming into this one.
Kyle Lowry firing on all cylinders for Brooklyn. He got into double digits for the quarter with 10 points total. We've got more NBA basketball coming your way in just a minute. Steph Curry talks about the visual drills he does to help his playmaking in the NBA.
It's a cognitive and neurological drill that helps you, one, takes your mind off the basketball, because when you're in a game, that should be the last thing you're thinking about. There's so many other variables out there that you have to kind of survey, where your defender is, where your teammates are, where you are in relation to the basket and your reaction. So those lights kind of train you in that regard. You have to, see what the color is, make a determination of what move that corresponds to, execute the move, and then finish the jumper.
The improvement he's made, Greg, in his ball handling has really unlocked his game.
I mean, able to keep his head up as he attacks off the dribble, read the defense, and drills like that can only help.
Some good action already in this one, but a fairly even matchup after the first quarter of play. And taking a look at the Nets' performance here, guys, what jumps out to you, stats-wise?
Well, this is the edge that great rim protection can give you.
Total intimidation that first period. That is what has helped power them to this early lead.
And now let's check out the lineups courtesy of Gatorade, all fueled up and ready to go. Here's the second quarter of play. So for Chicago right now, we've got LaMarcus Aldridge, Paul out there with Harden, then it's Zach LaVine, and it's Drummond in at the pivot spot, manning the middle. He has a chance now to catch up with the fourth member of our crew, Hall of Famer David Aldridge.
Well, Kevin, Kenny Atkinson, who's a native of Long Island, now has his dream job, coaching the Brooklyn Nets. He doesn't need praise or recognition. Instead, he's fueled by the fear of failure. He says, I always feel like I'm one banana peel away from never being in the NBA again. But Kevin, he's got his team playing with that same determination.
David, he sure does. Thank you very much.
Well, rhythm, confidence. When Schroeder is pulling the trigger, you know he's feeling it.
Here's Paul. Takes the elbow jumper and drains it. Paul's got it all tied up now for the Bulls.
Well, think about the Nets' Kenny Atkinson, a finalist last season for NBA Coach of the Year. This young coach got a well-deserved contract extension. And what I love is his team competes at a high level every night.
The drive by Lowry. Powell for three. And again, Brooklyn with the triple.
Well, on the catch and shoot, Norman Powell ready to rise and fire.
Lowry against Paul. Pass to Drummond. Back to Harden. Falls right in. He is 8 for 11 with that shot. And Doris, you think about how hard this Brooklyn team competes. I think they take right after their head coach.
I don't think there's any doubt, Kevin. Coach Atkinson is still willing to get on the court and jump into drills with his players. Let's remember, going back to the early days of his career, he was a player development coach. And before that, yes, he even played. That effort and willingness to break a sweat very much reflected in his group.
Well, guys, this first half has been about as tightly contested as you can hope for.
There have been a lot of
Now here is Lowry. 10 points for him. Pass to Powell. And Favors kicks to Love. Powell against Levine. The shot by Powell, no good. And so it's Harden bringing it up for the Chicago Bulls. Only giving up 6 here in this quarter. Here's Drummond. And a lot of contact on that one, so he'll shoot 2 here.
Taking a look here at the numbers for Schroeder. Some last season stats for him. Last season, he averaged 15 points a game, 4 assists, and 3 rebounds. He's been nothing short of fantastic during that stretch. Offense coming very easily for him.
And so much of it, to me, is his ability to read the floor, make the right decision, and then go right after the action he wants.
Free throw good, Drummond. Well, you look at the former All-Star Andre Drummond and the way he rebounds, Greg. He might be the best in the league in that department.
I mean, few players in the history of the league can go off for 20-plus rebounds on any given night. Drummond's one of them. Attacks the glass on the offensive end so well. His offensive rebounding, for me, sets him apart.
A lot of competitors in this league, Doris, and you've got to be that way to play at this level. And I know you have a list of competitors that you admire a lot.
It's those guys, Kevin, who have that insatiable desire to win. The guys who absolutely despise losing, who it almost hurts. It's painful physically. Giannis Antetokounmpo is driven to be great. He wants an NBA championship. LeBron James has got multiple titles and continues to pursue greatness. What I love about great NBA players, it's never enough, Kevin.
Now, here's Valanciunas. He has 6. Fires from 14. And the dunk by Valanciunas.
Well, I think, Kevin, this is something Jonas Valanciunas has hung his hat on. His ability to consistently get to the offensive window. Nicely done.
Here's Schroeder. Here's Adebayo. And oh boy, a lot of contact there, but he gets the call and will shoot 2. It's on Kawhi Leonard. And Bam Adebayo. He just plays with so much energy when he's on the floor.
Boy, he is ferocious on both ends of the floor. Great energy player who can finish in the paint with the best of them. Very quick on his feet and can cover a lot of ground for a player his size.
And that one misses. He hits the second from the line. The Bulls leading by 4. Paul passes to Valanciunas. He dishes it to DeRozan. Shoots over Warren. And it's DeRozan missing. Brooklyn's gone 4-6 from outside the arc tonight. Schroeder looking around. The pass to Favors. Unloads from 13. The shot's good on the assist by Schroeder. Favors has got his first basket.
Well, Derek Favors has developed terrific form, and it's nice to see him continue to develop this mid-range.
Curry fires from way outside. And the Bulls, another 3.
Well, there's an unpredictability to his offensive game. He is always keeping the defense off balance.
Curry against Schroeder. Passes it to Lowry. Tipped away. Pass to Warren. Just 5 to shoot. Looking for Favors. He gets it there over Paul. And the shot is good. The Chicago lead has been cut to just 3 points on the basket from Favors.
Well, this is one aspect you'd like to see more of from T.J. Warren. We know he's a great scorer. Pretty dime there.
Now here's Curry. 5 points in the game. Count it. Curry's got the lead up to 5 now for the Bulls.
Yeah, they're going to have a nice little run here.
Curry against Schroeder. kicks it to Lowry. A three-pointer off the mark. Now the Bulls with it. They're on a 13-5 run here. Pass to Paul. Some nice ball movement by the Bulls. Feeds to Curry. And Dennis Schroeder gets the whistle that time. That is his first foul of the game. Robert Covington's checked in for Brooklyn. Brooklyn on defense. It's a 5-point game. Paul with the ball. Lowry picks him up. Shot clock at 6. That one from long range. Curry's got 8 points here in this quarter.
And boy, has he picked it up since the start of the second. His shots now starting to fall.
Curry against Schroeder. Now here's Lowry. Defense right on him. Teardrop shot. The shot that time not on target. Paul with the defensive effort.
Boy, what a nightmare quarter for this guy. He's playing right into the hands of the defense at this point.
They're getting a lot of their points outside the paint. 3 of their last 5 baskets are from three-point range.
And the first timeout called of the game for Brooklyn. Well, we're now on the back end of what has been, Greg, an incredible career for Chris Paul. Perhaps no longer the undisputed best point guard in the game, but still a top talent.
And Chris Paul might not be the best point guard, but any team would be happy to have him. His efficiency and playmaking aren't going away anytime soon. And even though he's never been an overly athletic player, that aspect of his game still is strong as ever.
Here is the 2K leaderboard with the list of last season's top three-point shooters. Steph Curry fourth.
The bucket must have looked 3 feet wide to him last year. I mean, very deserving in terms of that spot among the league leaders from 3.
Nets trail by 11. Schroeder passes to Adebayo. He kicks to Lowry. Back to Adebayo. That's in, coming off an assist from Lowry. Lowry's got 10 assists here tonight. So active.
And when the size advantage is as big as it was there, I mean, that's exactly what he's supposed to do in that situation.
And the dunk by Valanciunas.
Well, Kevin, to steal a line from you, up high and down hard, Jonas Valanciunas. Go ahead, big fella.
Lowry against Paul. Lowry drives in, and the rejection by Valanciunas.
Solid rebound there, and with the score like it is, that's an area where they can't afford to get lazy.
Well, speed, intelligence, touch. Kawhi Leonard has it all.
Now here is Lowry. He's got 10. And that one's good. Schroeder.
Yeah, well done to finish that one off.
The Bulls leading by 11. Leonard on the wing. Unloads from 13. That shot off. Good D by Covington. Oh, and there's the alley-oop. Oh, a nice defensive play to disrupt the alley-oop. DeRozan finds Paul. Shoots from the elbow. Rebounded by Covington. Covington's got 4 rebounds now tonight. From the arc. And it's Chicago with the rebound. Valanciunas has got 6 rebounds here tonight. Here's DeRozan. And that'll be 2 free throws coming up. Officials on the call with the foul. Robert Covington picks one up.
Well, that's really good work inside from DeMar DeRozan. You know, he knows how to get position where a defender is almost forced to foul him.
Two shots. Relax on the first.
first one at the line is good. And Doris, you played point guard. What do you like to see from that position?
Well, I'm going to go back to the Showtime Lakers, which was my first team that I adored when I was a kid watching the NBA. And the reality is this, Kevin, I love to see teams play in transition, get out in the open floor. What's better than watching Steph Curry cross half court with a full head of steam and the defender knowing, oh, good God, anything could happen here. He might pull a three.
Right.
He might finish in spectacular fashion off the run, or he might find a teammate for a momentum-building three. Like, get in transition and run, baby.
Now, here is Lowry. 10 points for him. Curry against Schroeder. And again, no good by Brooklyn. To the inside, Valanciunas, and it's Valanciunas finishing it off.
Well, this is where DeMar DeRozan proves he is the real deal. Not only a skilled scorer, skilled at finding his teammates as well.
Now, here's Lowry. Now the pass to Schroeder. Got it. And he's now 3 for 5 from the field.
Well, Dennis Schroeder taking advantage of the pick and roll action. Very good decision maker.
Curry passes to Leonard. Curry with it. Jacks up a three. It's hauled in by Wood.
Not quite enough defense that time around. Just lucky he was off.
Let's see what the Brooklyn Nets have coming up. On Friday, they'll start it on the road and play the Clippers in Los Angeles. And then on Sunday, they continue the road trip, heading out to Sacramento to take on the Kings. The Nets shooting their 5th and 6th free throws of the game.
And team stats last season, 74% shooting. So some numbers that they can definitely improve upon.
And the first one drops.
One thing Dennis Schroeder has proven is that he can be an effective player whether he's starting or coming off the bench. This is a versatile guard, and maybe his best attribute, confidence.
Norman Powell's checked in for Kyle Lowry. Chicago also making some changes. Drummond comes in for Jonas Valanciunas, and Zach LaVine subbed in for Paul. Schroeder hits them both.
And they're getting to the line a lot in this quarter, guys, and it hasn't been by accident.
LaVine against Schroeder. Kick out to LaVine. Inside. And there's Stephen Curry on the assist by LaVine. And that's 15 points for Steph Curry.
I love his shot selection today. He set the bar for the rest of the team.
Schroeder passes to Covington. There's 1:40 left in the first half. Pass to Powell. Clock at 6. Top of the key. And that one goes long.
And they've only got a slight edge on the boards, but it just feels a lot bigger.
Pass to DeRozan. Good D by Covington.
Got to credit the defense. They found a way to stop him, and that's never an easy task.
Pass to Adebayo. Another field goal for him. 4 for 6 shooting tonight.
Well, offensively, this guy has been cooking. They're definitely not losing because of him.
Here's Leonard. Scored the basket. His 4th. He's only missed 1 of his 5 shots tonight.
That's their 3rd straight make off an assist.
Powell dishes to Schroeder. Adebayo kicks it over to Schroeder. Looks good, is good. Bucket number 4 from the field. He's taken only 6 shots.
Well, they're not behind because of this guy. He is putting on a tremendous run.
Powell against Curry. The dish to DeRozan. The outside leaner. And it's off the back rim. No good.
He really made that shot harder than it needed to be, and coach is not happy with that choice.
And it's Schroeder missing.
Well, terrific defense. They obviously respect his ability and just want to make it tough.
The chemistry has been terrific. Really impressed with their offensive execution.
Takes a three. And the last second attempt doesn't fall.
Boy, that's gritty work being done at the defensive end by Steph Curry. Stays with his man, not letting him get off a clean look.
And so it's the Chicago Bulls. 13 points up at the end of the period. They've excelled in the open court. Their transition game has allowed them to build this healthy lead. And now we'll send it over to David Aldridge, who is standing by courtside. David.
Thanks, Kevin. Kawhi, you have grown so much offensively throughout your career. What's the focus of that end of the floor?
Just knocking out open shots, my ball handling, making good decisions off the pick and roll, and just try to limit my turnovers.
And you've done well so far, Kawhi. Thanks. Back to you, Kevin.
All right, thank you, David. Folks, don't go away. After the break, we'll see you right back here for the start of quarter number 3.
The 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Ernie Johnson here with Shaq and Kenny, and a favorite time of the year as we're halfway through one of the first games of this fresh NBA season. James Harden was the man in the first. He ended up with 19 points and 1 steal. And Shaq, what did you see out there from the Bulls?
Let me tell you, in the first half, a number of defenders got stranded on Harden Island. He played with them like a cat with a mouse. Meow. And you know what happens to a mouse at the end, Ernie?
Kenny, how'd you think the Nets were playing?
Well, one problem I see is that they're too timid on the boards. When you start to fall behind in the game, you need to become more aggressive on the offensive glass and the defensive glass.
And that'll about do it as we get ready for the second half. Let's take it down to Kevin Harlan.
Shout out to my man Joel.
Joe, what up?
And after a very lopsided first half, we'll see if things play out a little more evenly here in the second. A fantastic game from Harden in this one.
Yeah, and just look at the numbers from the first half. He has been very efficient.
I think they've taken their time. They've showed incredible patience. It's a sign of a well-coached ball club.
Well, we've got a second half of basketball for you. We think it's going to be pretty good. A big comeback, though, is needed for this game to be competitive, and it probably has to happen quickly. Robert Covington out there with Bam Adebayo. Then there's Norman Powell. Then there's Lowry, and it's Warren in at the small forward position. That's the group starting the second half for Kenny Atkinson.
Well, you have to love the patience by Kawhi right there. Use the pick-and-roll game to perfection.
And on our sideline, our reporter, David Aldridge.
Well, Kevin, my cousin LaMarcus Aldridge is not the flashiest player, but he is respected. His former teammate in Portland, C.J. McCollum, said he hasn't changed his game to try and fit the new NBA. He shoots mid-range, scores under the basket, strong as heck. He knows who he is. And Kevin, LaMarcus isn't really my cousin, but his game never goes out of style.
You're right, D.A., and he is still getting it done. Thank you. Three-pointer, Lowry.
Well, an 0-for-3 start to the half. You need to pick it up and start to put some pressure on your opponent.
And here we go with DeRozan running it up the middle. And good that time. 21 points for James Harden.
And the crisp passing has opened things up for them offensively.
Outside Lowry. Little over a minute gone here in the second half. Lowry drawing the double team. And it's James Harden with the rebound.
Boy, yet another missed opportunity here. Whatever they talked about at halftime, it's not working.
Guys, they're looking for a way to score here.
Yeah, they've had a tough time taking the lid off.
Now, here's Warren. Knocked loose. And they force the shot clock violation. Great D.
And now let's take a look at Kawhi Leonard. Coming off a terrific season, he was around 26 points per game, 7 rebounds, and 3 assists. And what is crazy is that these numbers might not even do his game justice. He's been phenomenal.
Feels like every night this guy does something that just blows your mind. So fun to watch, someone the other players look up to.
Now, here's DeRozan. 17-point lead, their biggest. The pass to Powell. Fouled in the act of shooting. Gets the bucket anyway, so a 3-point play chance for him.
Boy, that was a much-needed bucket in the second half. They're now 1 for 5.
Doris, you've accomplished so much in your award-winning career. What was your first experience in broadcasting?
Kevin, my first experience was I left coaching, and they put Providence College women's basketball on radio. That was the first ever game I got to call. It was so cool. Tell me yours. What was the very first? Did you study this? How did you get into broadcasting?
I did. Our high school had a radio station, and the first basketball broadcast was underneath the bleachers, looking through popcorn boxes and legs of the people that were standing in the bleachers so that I could see the court from the baseline.
Amazing.
Because that's where the telephone cables were to plug in our equipment. And
wow.
I was 16 years old.
Incredible.
I remember it very well.
Incredible.
Very well. Covington finds Lowry. Adebayo with the ball. DeRozan defending. Count that one. The Bulls' lead has been cut down to just 12 points on the bucket from Adebayo.
I mean, he makes plays like that in his sleep. The game is just far too easy. Just impressed with the teamwork out there, setting the table for one another.
Over to the wing. Lowry against Harden, and he could not get that one to go. A lot of contact, and he'll go to the line for 2.
Well, I'll tell you, he's not afraid to take hits on the way to the free throw line. Kyle Lowry will manufacture points any way he has to.
The Nets have shot 6 or 7 at the line. Free throw drops for Lowry.
Boy, Kyle Lowry has carved out for himself quite the career. This guy came in as a dogged defender, and on the offensive end, he's able to create for both himself and his teammates.
Robinson's checked in for the Nets. And Kyle Lowry drops them both. And so Curry will bring it up for Chicago. 17 points was their biggest margin. From deep, sinks it. What range from outside. Wow. Curry's got 5 points now in the quarter.
Boy, it is simply an incredible offensive display when Stephen Curry gets rolling. It feels like every shot that he takes is going to go down.
They get the rebound. Robinson. And it's sent back by Leonard. And Curry, here we go. And the basket is good, and he's got a chance here for one more at the line.
And, you know, you see it every day, but it still doesn't make it any less impressive. The amount of skill that Steph Curry has on the floor, the shooting, the passing, the agility, he has it all.
And Brooklyn making a change here. Favors is checked in. You could argue Curry is one of the most skilled players of all time.
The shooting alone puts him in the conversation, and very few can match up to just that. Guys like LeBron and Wilt dominate with their size and athleticism, but Curry is an all-time great because of his once-in-a-lifetime skill.
Timeout called, the Nets.
And no doubt, Coach wants them to shore up their interior defense.
I think right now they're giving up way too many easy looks. That is a recipe for disaster.
So a moment now to see the story on James Harden. He's coming off an excellent season. First in scoring, second in steals, and he ranked in the top 10 in assists. An incredible knack for drawing defenders and finding the open man.
And his unmatchable instincts for scoring the basketball. That's what made him #1 last year. You can't stop him, and you can't even really contain him. And with the way Mitchell Robinson can protect the rim doors, there's a lot to like about that second-round pick.
Yeah, on draft day, Mitchell Robinson flew under the radar, but he had a great summer league. He got tremendous minutes early as a rookie. This is a great leaper, a great shot blocker, always something teams can use, both of those attributes.
And he can't get the first one. And he's good on the second. Chicago leading by 17. Passes to Leonard. Over Favors. Can't connect for 13 feet out.
Listen, simply put, he's got to finish that. It's not like the defender was right on top of him.
Powell with it, and Curry picks him up defensively. They recover it.
Well, the length of Kawhi Leonard twice on the pipes with that 7'3" wingspan.
Curry passes to Harden. Whistle blows. Basket is good. So a chance here for a three-point play.
And obviously his momentum from the last game has carried over here tonight.
No, I think that's the one thing every player is searching for. Consistency. They're giving this guy a chance to carry the offense once again.
Bulls making a switch here. Valanciunas is checked in. Harden, no good on the free throw. And one of the best defensive big men in the league, Derek Favors.
You're right, Kevin, because he's got the body to play bully ball, but the lateral quickness to deal with smaller players. When this guy gets down in his stance, he can cover some ground defensively. There's real synergy in play right now on the offensive end. The pass was right where it needed to be.
Here's Leonard. That ball is good for another field goal, his sixth. He is 6 for 9 on the stat sheet.
Well, everybody in the NBA should have the floater as part of their arsenal. Leonard makes it look easy.
Now, here's Warren. Outside Lowry. And Lowry gets double-teamed. Warren kicks to Powell. Chicago grabs the miss. Aldridge has got 6 rebounds in the game. Curry wide open. No good from outside.
He couldn't believe how open he was. He just couldn't convert it.
And out of bounds as Chicago gains possession. You know, these are the guys you need to be aware of if you don't want your pocket picked. Here are last season's steals leaders. James Harden is second. Third is Chris Paul.
And with all the steals these two came away with, they probably put a thought in the back of every opponent's head, and it wasn't a very good thought.
Curry passes to Harden, and they pick up 2. Harden's got 6 in the quarter.
The ball movement on this run has been fantastic and is a big part of why they've been able to get these good looks.
Here's Lowry. The lead pass was put in just the right spot.
There is an imagination, a creativity. This guy's passing drives the offense.
Harden kicks to Curry. Pass to Valanciunas. Back to Curry. And the call on the shot that sends him to the line.
I don't think it's possible to overstate just how revolutionary a player Steph Curry is, because because of the way he has changed the spacing on the floor. Never before have we seen a player who shape-shifts a defense like Steph does. And that is because once he crosses half court, you better guard him.
Free throw good by Curry. And with the way, Doris, defenses have to adjust for Curry, it just leaves so much more space for the rest of the team.
I think coaches, Kevin, because of Steph Curry's presence, they have got to change their defensive schemes, account for spaces on the floor that traditionally you wouldn't have to account for. That puts Steph Curry in a class of his own.
Nets trail by 21. Shooter passes to Warren. And it's sent back by Aldridge. Left side, Levine. And the jam by Levine.
Let's remember, Zach LaVine is a former dunk contest winner. Allow him to get that position and turn the lights out.
Now a timeout called by Brooklyn.
And in a league that's obsessed with threes and layups, LaMarcus Aldridge defying the trend, really feasting on a steady diet of mid-range jumpers. All right, a moment to see the stats for Zach LaVine. Coming off a terrific season. He was around 23 points a game last year, 4 assists and 4 rebounds. He's been nothing short of fantastic during that stretch. Offense coming very easily for him.
And so much of it to me is his ability to read the floor, make the right decision, and then go right after the action he wants.
Now here's Schroeder. He's got 11. And the bucket is good. 3-point play chance here for him.
This guy has quality wingspan for his size. Dennis Schroeder can adapt and adjust to defensive pressure.
He's gone 2 for 2 at the line so far.
And how about a year ago? 82% on his foul shot, so he was reliable when he went to the line.
All checked in for the Bulls.
One shot.
That's good from Schroeder. Paul with the ball. Pass to Harden. Outside, Levine. Paul finds Harden. Rebounded by the Nets. Schroeder outside. The feed to Robinson. Over Aldridge. Robinson misses.
And you know, you can't impact a shot that close any better than he did on that possession.
Boy, whether he blocks it or simply alters it, the result is pretty much the same.
And love how Paul seeks out his teammates. Superb at slicing the D to pieces with his passing.
Powell kicks to Favors. Knocked away. 9 feet out. Another shot. And foul on the shot. He'll shoot 2 at the free throw line. It's on Jonas Valanciunas.
Well, just excellent use of the shot fake, Kevin. Derek Favors has put a lot of work into this. He's become very effective getting the guy to commit.
The first free throw is good.
Well, I think, Kevin, most people would say Derek Favors a throwback big man, right? The guy wants to be effective at posting up, but he can shoot the face-up jump shot as well.
And so he's able to get one of two. Doris, all right, this is going to come out of the blue here, but if you had to choose between raising the height of the basket or widening the floor or even widening the lane, which would it be?
I have very strong feelings on this, Kevin, and for me it would be widening the floor. And the reason I say that is it feels to me in the last couple of years there are more sideline violations where teams are turning it over because they're trying to get to that corner three, one of the most advantageous, best shots in today's game. But because that three-point line is so close to the sideline out of bounds, we're seeing too many violations. So if I had to choose between one or the other, I would absolutely widen the floor.
Two.
The first one falls. Wood, he's checked in for Derek Favors. And the Bulls making a change here as well. Andre Drummond's checked in for LaMarcus Aldridge. Schroeder hits them both. And here is Paul. Harden outside. Warren against Levine. A shot by Paul. Nobody around. Here's Drummond, and Drummond throws it down.
Pursues the offensive glass with purpose. Drummond knows who he is, and boy, does he attack it.
Schroeder dishes to Powell. And there's the pass to Robinson. Here's Warren. And Valanciunas pulls it down. Valanciunas has got double-digit rebounds now in the game. Fouled on the shot and picks up 2 points.
Shot's
so
good.
one free throw coming up.
And defensively, guys, they've been unable to shut down the middle.
Well, you just watch Levine play, and you can see the athleticism he possesses. Greg just explodes anytime he wants to.
And guys, with Levine, the speed and first step have always been there for him. But you can see the strength he's added to his game since his rookie year whenever he goes at the rim.
Robert Covington's checked in for Warren. Free throw good, Levine.
You know, one of the things that Zach LaVine has worked so hard on is the ability to get to the free throw line. This guy has stated he wants to be one of the best to ever do it. Well, a great scorer gets to the foul line.
And he's had an excellent performance overall from the field.
Chicago's gone 1 of 2 from beyond the arc since coming out of the break. To the paint. Good, and Paul gets the assist. Levine's got 9 points now in just the second half.
The assist totals, Kevin, just continue to grow. They're way ahead in that category. Ball movement has been flawless.
Now a timeout call by Brooklyn.
You know, couldn't agree more with this timeout. Far too many turnovers to get any kind of offensive rhythm. You're just trying to mix things up here.
Let's give a look now at the 2K leaderboard to see who led the league in assists last year. Kyle Lowry is second. Third is Chris Paul.
And really two terrific distributors. I mean, the first thing you look for in a teammate is the ability to get you the ball, and they both have that down to a T.
Powell against Harden. The shot by Powell, no good.
And not allowing the shooter even an inch of breathing room on that one.
Right. He stays connected, and great timing on the contest.
And it is easy to get spoiled watching Harden. He's had so many games like this in his career, but you still got to appreciate what he does.
Now here's Powell. He got 13. Let's go from 14. That's in for his 5th field goal of the game. Makes him 5 for 12 so far.
I mean, even he was surprised to be that open.
Outside, Levine. Back to Paul. Bulls moving the ball around. Drummond passes to Levine, and the jam by Levine.
Oh, how about using the rim to get some true hang time?
You know, he just wanted to make sure the landing was softer than the takeoff. Powell kicks it over to Schroeder. He can't get that one to fall. Paul with the defensive effort. Puts it up from 12, and Harden gets it to go in on the assist by Levine. 31 points for James Harden. Schroeder against Paul. And it's Schroeder missing. And here are the Bulls now. They're on a 17-7 run. And count it, the shot is good. He'll go to the free throw line.
Wow, unconscious has he been this quarter. They're riding that hot hand.
And Brooklyn making a change here. Adebayo's checked in. Free throw good, Levine. We've got 1:18 left in the third. Passes it to Adebayo. Back to Schroeder. To the middle. And the rejection by Valanciunas.
Well, Valanciunas reads the play and snuffs it out. That's the kind of defense you need from the 5 spot.
Getting it done on both ends, and it shows up in the score.
Well, what I love, Greg, is the energy they're bringing right now. They're ignoring the scoreboard and playing hard.
Here's Schroeder following the basket by Chris Paul. Feeds to Covington. That shot, no good. Now Chicago takes it the other way. Levine dishes to Paul. Pass to Valanciunas. Back to Paul. Brooklyn with the rebound.
And he did everything he could to make that shot as difficult as possible.
We call that a great contest. You know this is something he brings to the table, the ability to anchor your defense.
Now here's Powell. Following the shot by Chris Paul. Powell, the pass to Adebayo. 4 on the shot clock. Here's Covington. And the Nets miss again. And so it's Chicago. Sitting pretty as the quarter comes to a close. Their lead all the way up there at 35 points. From the field, they have been outstanding. Amazing shooting. That's what has them headed to a blowout. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Now let's take a look at our assist of the game presented by State Farm.
And the definition of teamwork right there, guys. I mean, what great communication between them, and what a beautiful feed.
And, Greg, nothing better than chemistry, right? Working together to create a bucket.
And there may not be a lot of drama down the stretch as we head into the fourth quarter, but stranger things have happened. So for Chicago right now, Zach LaVine is out there with Andre Drummond. Then there's DeAndre Jordan. Then it's Hield. And it's Murray in at the 1 spot. Now here's Porter. Here's Beasley. Outside White. Off target from outside. Now LaVine. Murray right side. Pass to Drummond. And contact on the shot, so he'll be shooting free throws here. It's going to go on Otto Porter Jr.
Selected 9th overall in the 2012 draft, Drummond's carved out a nice NBA career for himself.
And he knocks down the first one. Doris, we've both been very public in our admiration for LeBron, the face of the league, for so many years. When he retires, and we're approaching that date, who do you think might step up and take his place as the face of the NBA?
Well, probably the most likely candidate is the new and reigning MVP, and that's Giannis Antetokounmpo, who is an absolute physical force. He's put on 50 pounds. He's getting more and more skilled. When he adds that three-point shot as a consistent weapon and gets to an in-between game, he will be impossible to guard. Kawhi Leonard, he is now sort of taking over as a multi-time winner of the Finals MVP, and certainly a player guys want to play with. So just a couple of possibilities there, Kev.
.60 seconds off the clock here in the fourth. Hield kicks to Holiday. 5 on the clock.
Well, the rangy Porter, right, making his presence felt defensively.
Basket is good. He'll get a chance for one more at the line. It's going to be Drummond shooting. It's going to go on Otto Porter Jr. Free throw, no good for Drummond. Dwars, when you look at draft eligibility requirements, it is a very fluid topic with a lot of different ways it could go, a lot of moving parts. Where do you stand?
I'll tell you the truth, Kevin. I'm conflicted about this because I believe there is real value to the college experience. There's high-level coaching across the game at the collegiate level, but I also believe that young men who have talent should be able to, when they are eligible, decide when they want to become professionals. So, listen, I'm sort of in the middle. There are legitimate arguments to be had for both sides. What I hope, regardless, is we get the best players in the league, and that's certainly going to happen whenever it happens.
And so it's Porter bringing it up now for Brooklyn. They could use a big shot here to get this offense going.
Too many empty possessions. Right now they need the basket.
And stolen by Drummond. And Murray, here we go. Hield, good, and the assist goes to Murray. Hield's got his first bucket in this one.
They should continue to get the ball inside. The defense struggling to contain them.
Outside, White. Beasley kicks to Porter. Taken away by Holiday. And he finishes the break with a lay-in.
And the best part of that sequence wasn't Holiday's steal, but his quick decision to push the ball and start the break. That's when the D's most vulnerable, and he took advantage.
Now here's White. Outside, Porter. Outside, Bryant. 6 on the shot clock. Here's White. That shot is off. Murray with the defensive.
And a big lead for them on both the scoreboard and the backboard thus far. Attacking in transition, the most consistent way to generate easy looks.
The very definition of quality transition offense. If it can end at the cup, it's exactly where you want it.
Now here's White. Here's Porter. No good on the shot. A bit long that time.
Well, if the defense gives him that shot next time, they could get burned. I think he's just a little bit out of rhythm.
And it's sent back by Bryant. And he's able to get it back. And they'll keep possession.
With a large frame and a willingness to get physical, Drummond's a relentless rebounder.
White the pass to Beasley. Back to White. No good, unable to end this run. For Chicago, they've gone 5 for 9 from the field in the final quarter so far. 2 points, that one goes. Holiday's got 4 points in the quarter.
Oh, perfect timing there to knock down the teardrop.
Murray against White. Outside Porter from deep. And again, no good by Brooklyn. The Bulls have gotten into a pretty good groove, going 6 of 10 here in the final quarter. Holiday against Beasley. And there's Murray on the assist by Holiday. Murray's got his first bucket of the night.
They're doing a really good job of getting the ball inside and attacking the paint. That's an area they have completely dominated.
The feed to Porter. Doris, you and I are faced with this a lot, voting for the MVP. Great stats versus winning. Where do you stand on that when you vote for the league MVP?
Well, winning could be the definitive line if I have two candidates who are close. For instance, for me, this last MVP came down to James Harden and Giannis Antetokounmpo, and I took it to the last possible moment. And I could have gone in either direction and been comfortable. Ultimately, I went with Giannis, and the deciding factor came down to he led his team to the best record in the league. It was a difficult vote, but ultimately it's one category which helps tilt me in one direction or another.
And I did too, and what also helped me was just the improvement defensively they had made, and I know Antetokounmpo was a very big part of it.
No, it's a great point. He was a two-way force.
And Drummond throws it down.
And the pass there floated it up to the precise spot it needed to be.
And no messing around on the finish. He powers it through. White the pass to Beasley. Kicks to Bryant. Outside Porter. And it's Chicago with the rebound. Jordan's got his 6th rebound on the night.
I'll tell you, a rough quarter for him, and that put so much pressure on the guys around him.
Holiday. It's Adebayo with the rebound.
Well, they'll be happy with that look, even though it didn't fall.
I think expect them to go back to it, because that's the kind of shot this offense is designed to generate.
Yeah, attacking the interior is something White does well. He's crafty, and he makes good adjustments against the defense.
Now here is Holiday over Bryant. From inside, nice D from Bryant.
And the activity he shows around the rim is why he is such a respected defender.
And what you love about his work defensively, the ability to challenge and change shots without fouling.
Porter with a block.
Well, with that 7'1" wingspan for Otto Porter, he can provide some shot blocking.
Holiday gets the bucket.
From that in-between range, they've been the much better team.
Some tough offensive sets. They want to turn it around.
Yeah, right now you just need a bucket to get some momentum.
Beasley against Holiday. And stolen by Jordan. Fast break. Here comes Chicago. And that one drops for him. And that's now 6 points for Buddy Hield.
Tremendous effort getting the steal, then getting the ball up the court.
It amazes me how quickly you can change ends. You've got to be prepared to sprint the floor.
Now here's Bryant. Now the pass to Beasley. To the wing right side. And the Nets miss again. Chicago has gone 5 of 9 when they put up the three-point shot tonight. Healed against Beasley. Healed with the bucket.
And defensively, they're on their heels every time the ball comes inside.
White against Murray. Passes it to Porter. A lot of people look at that general manager position with the team. I think it grows with some organization, maybe shrinks in importance with others. But by and large, it is more stable than coaching, isn't it? That position of being a GM.
Yeah, and I think, Kevin, if you were to ask coaches, one of the things I've heard sort of thrown out there as an idea is when you list the head coach's record, why not list the GM's record as well? Because the reality is success in the NBA is contingent on so many things. What's your ownership like? What kind of front office personnel? Have they made great decisions? Do you have the best possible coaching comparative to the talent on your roster? So much contributes to winning, Kevin.
Now here is Holiday, following the miss by Otto Porter. Now here is Holiday. Drummond passes to Jordan. They kick out to Hield. Good ball movement here by the Bulls. Murray surveying the D. From deep three-point range, it's Adebayo with the rebound. Adebayo's got rebound number 9 now. What an effort here tonight. And he gets it to go as they call the foul. On his way to the line for one more.
And while they haven't worked it inside as much in the second half as they did earlier, it wouldn't be a bad idea to get back to that strategy.
Derek Favors checked in for Brooklyn. Marcus Aldridge has checked in for Chicago. Here's some kind of interesting. There's been a lot of talk about moving the draft to after free agency. What would that look like?
Well, I think talent is always going to be at a premium. So I would think if there's a guy that's the absolute definitive number 1 pick, he's going number 1 regardless of roster construction. But the reality is it might help those teams who maybe if they know who's on the roster, it might change the kind of draft selection they would make. So it's an interesting supposition. We'll see if the NBA moves in that direction.
Here is Porter following the score by Jamal Murray. 2 open that time, made it look too easy. Porter's got 4 points this quarter.
Well, nice work off the pick and roll. Porter getting buckets with this scheme.
Porter against Hield. Murray outside. Pass to Jordan. Hield against Porter. Takes a shot at the elbow. Offensive rebound. And so it's Porter bringing it up now for Brooklyn. The shot's good.
Now that slender frame sometimes lets Porter slip right through the cracks and get to the rim.
Chicago has gone 5 of 10 from downtown tonight. 50% exactly.
And as we head to the final buzzer here, a crushing blowout. Big-time dominance, and this will go in the record books as a gaudy win for the Bulls.
You don't see this kind of a blowout often, but tonight this is a quality win across the board to deliver out this kind of punishment.
They definitely never changed the approach. They just kept after it and showed they were clearly the better team in just about every single category.
And it'll go down as their first official win of the new year. And, you know, looking back at all the contributions tonight, it was a really phenomenal all-around game for Drummond.
Boy, his defense is what stood out to me. There was a no-fly zone around this guy all night. He contested every shot in his area and sent a few back.
Now, here's Aldridge. Falls back and drains the fadeaway jumper.
Spirited performance. You love to get this kind of win, especially on the road.
You've got to be able to block out all distractions in enemy territory. This team did a tremendous job staying focused on the task at hand.
Here is Porter, following the basket by LaMarcus Aldridge. Porter dishes to Bryant. He kicks it to White. That one misses. Murray with the defensive effort. Aldridge with it. And so Chicago takes this one, and by a big margin. A resounding victory for them. And Greg in enemy territory, no less.
And that's exactly right. But with the way they controlled the game and just completely took the crowd out of it, that's how to get it done on the road.
And now let's catch up with David Aldridge, who's standing by from the sideline. All right, Dave.
Kevin, thank you. DeMar, this team is playing well together. How are you encouraging and fostering that sense of all of you being together and playing well?
We're just making everybody comfortable. We're making each and everybody on this team comfortable. If it's jump shots, if it's attacking the basket, even if it's on the defensive end, we're just giving each other confidence every time we practice.
And it sure looks like it out there tonight, DeMar. Thanks a lot. Kevin, back to you.
David, thank you as always. And that'll do it, folks. For Greg Anthony, Doris Burke, and David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan saying thanks for watching. So long, everyone.